doesn't seem to work with me.
Sorry, I had to start the recorder because I screwed it up.
Okay. But anyway, yeah, so I appreciate it. I appreciate your mentioning it. And when is yours? The 24th?
Yes, 25th.
25th. So that's just around the corner. So
Just a couple of days.
let me ask you, Tom and Emily and I were talking a minute ago about living longer. And I've said that it's been seeming to me that the longer I live, I've been noticing a lot more stupidity out there in the world. So I'm feeling much smarter. So if I live long enough, I might feel like a genius at some point.
How old are you then now? How old are you? David, how old are you?
I've just about had it.
It's David,
Yeah.
how old are you?
I'm 73.
I'll be 84.
Yeah, you got 11 years on me, huh? Good. But it seems like it's been a good 11 years, huh?
Well, let's hope so. I've got a few drawbacks, but
Yeah.
But besides that, you seem like you're in pretty good shape.
yeah, not bad. Mobility is a problem. I got some problem with neuropathy.
Oh, okay.
Fix your balance, and I fall once in a while, and that's not good.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I have a sleep issue, and basically between some medication and the CPAP machine, it's not bad. But when I went to see my neurologist last time, what was I had talked about one issue, and anyway, the process of her checking that, she said, you got neuropathy. And I didn't understand what she said. And I said, no, I've never had any problem with that. No, she says, no, you've got signs of neuropathy. I said, oh,
I know
bummer.
how I got it too. I pinched a nerve in my ass, but sitting on a billfold too long.
Yeah.
Wow.
They can't seem to do anything about it.
The
That's
funny
because you got so much money, it's so thick.
Yeah, I wish that was the case. Credit card.
I wonder, since now that you mentioned that, the
Neuropathy.
pinched nerve relating to that, because what I was talking to the neurologist about was the fact that I must still have a pinched nerve somewhere, because my lower left leg, it's not exactly, it's not numb, but it doesn't feel right, and it has a little bit of the tingle to it, and it occasionally I haven't fallen because of it, I don't think, but it will kind of tend to give out a little bit.
Yeah, well, mine is a foot problem. I can barely feel my feet.
Really? Yeah, that's dangerous.
My wife has a bit of that problem. She can't feel the bottom of her feet.
I fell and broke both collarbones.
Ooh.
The one's really bad. It sticks way up.
No.
I'm lucky guy. The computer guy just left 20 minutes ago. I was down for about 2 days.
Really?
He just brought it back to me today.
Huh.
I told him I had to have it by 3, so he got it.
That's great. That's great. Yeah, I think I'm living on borrowed time with my laptop, because I think it's got a good 5 years on it, and I hear these things like, the electronics are only really good for maybe 3 years, and well, I mean, I'm sure it's way outdated, but
Planned obsolescence.
yeah.
Sounds Rick.
Hey, Tom, that picture of the Library of Congress, I appreciate that. I never saw that.
Hey, Rick.
Hey,
Hey
Rick.
guys, what's up?
Not much.
Hey, Rick.
Hey, what's up?
Not much.
Yeah, housing prices, gas prices.
Hey, Rick.
Beer prices have gotten high too.
Beer?
Hey, Rick.
Yeah.
I haven't checked the mail today, but thank you for sending them out, and I'll get you a check.
Okay, yeah, that one of them was a $20 thing instead. I would only got it anyway for you. So anyway, you should get them by tomorrow, I guess.
Yeah, I haven't.
The only thing is,
today.
the only thing is, if it's the $20 one that wins, actually you'll have to send it back to me so I can claim it. Trust me. Yeah, right. Good luck. Anyway,
Thank
what's
you.
up, everybody? Well, we've already said that.
Yeah,
Yeah. How's everybody doing? How about that one?
I'm doing great.
Yeah, same here.
David just had a birthday, so he's doing pretty good.
I know. Welcome
Yeah.
to the Getting Older Club.
Yeah, but I found the bright spot. I've told Tom and Snake already. As I get older, it's seeming like there's more stupid people out there. So I'm feeling a lot smarter. So if I live long enough, I'm going to be a genius.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's just, oh Lord.
And
I know
maybe-
one thing.
What's that?
Now, when I go shopping in Walmart or wherever, I'm taking a gun or maybe a rifle with me. If anyone gets in my way in a cart, or if anyone gets in my way, these Walmart shopper people, I'm gonna blow them away because they're endangering my shopping time.
That's right. And
Yeah.
it's our God
Y'all
given
believe,
right
I
to.
guess y'all know what I'm talking about, huh?
Yes, I
Oh,
do.
yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's just,
Don't
anyway.
be sure you haven't gotten out in the sun too much and you're not too dark because you know.
Oh, well, yeah.
we get-
If it had been that way, that guy had he'd have been, the child had been less than, the jury would have been in there 10 minutes and he'd get life or the chair or something, but
Yeah.
that's just the way it is,
Yeah.
To me, the only issue is what the hell is he doing there? He's a minor holding a gun. He's not even legally allowed to have because he's.
well, no, the other issue is
He
that,
crossed state lines.
that his friend
yeah.
bought the gun for him, knowing he was a minor, and that his mother drove him there
I know.
with
From
the
out of
gun in the
state.
car.
From out of state to do it. How can he get off? I don't get it. Well,
Yeah,
I had a feeling it was going to happen. That judge was that way,
And the judge is one of these people that I was feeling smarter than this judge. There was something wrong with that man.
Oh yeah, he. I don't know. I just don't get it.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Me neither.
other than that, we're doing fine here. Just kind of. Well, you hadn't had snow or anything up there, had you?
No, I haven't, but they're saying in not this wave, but I think Monday or Tuesday, there's the chance, really, again,
Just a little bit.
3,500 feet, but they said that some of us in the valley, 2,700 feet might get some
The
snow.
valley.
I'm hopeful.
What about you guys? Have y'all had any yet? You probably have, Snake.
No, we had 19 degrees the night before last.
Whew.
Mm.
That's cold enough to have to wear underwear. Gosh.
And
It
then
may get 32 here Tuesday or Wednesday night next week or something like that. I'm not sure exactly. Yeah.
It's
Or maybe it's the
42
weekend.
outside right now here, so.
Yeah, it's 62 here, I think. Yeah.
oh, I don't. What is it here? Just a minute. 65.
65. Oh,
Okay,
okay.
see, so we've got like 48 degrees right now, I think.
We get a 40-degree swing afternoon to morning overnight.
Yeah.
But Colorado, even in the wintertime, sometimes it's not that cold. Is
So,
it?
hello, the other Tom.
It's Bill and
Hey,
Tom.
Bill,
Hey, Bill.
I'm
Nice
Tom
to
too.
see you.
Tom too here.
Tom too. Tom's on.
I know
Yeah,
that.
that's right. Let me turn my volume up. I can't hear nobody here. Okay.
How
Can
you
you hear
doing?
it now?
What's up, Bill?
Yeah, no, I just had my volume down, but I can hear it up here. Okay.
What's going
Hey,
on?
Rick, how you doing? You getting scraggly too, Rick? Look at you.
Yeah, it's too cold to shave. I don't want
Hey,
it's too cold to shave in the winter.
I gotta do that too.
Yeah, yes, you get a little scruffly there. Yeah.
I wasn't here last week. I can't remember why I didn't join, why I wasn't there last week on the meeting.
That's the second thing that goes, Rick.
Uh-oh. You mean no more TV? Oh, no. That's not what you're talking about. What was last Friday?
the 12th.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know, but
We didn't see Barry last week either for some reason.
I know.
Yeah.
I didn't join the meeting last one. I can't remember why. It was
I
some.
meant to check in with him because I was wondering where Rick and Barry were, and since they're both regulars.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But, it
there
did-
was some reason I couldn't make it. And I can't remember exactly why. What came up? I had to go somewhere and do something. I don't know what it was now. I looked at my calendar across the room. I don't see anything. I can't see that far anyway. So
Ask,
but
ask
it's-
Sandra, ask Sandra, she probably remembers.
when she gets home, I'll ask her.
So,
I'll send out a text.
so since
send out a
next
text.
week is Thanksgiving, should we have one on Friday or should we?
We're having Thanksgiving Day dinner here at our house next Friday for everybody. Me and the two boys are going to the Saints game Thursday evening and everything. So we'll be gone all afternoon and evening down in New Orleans.
I think I'll be
So,
going too.
So I won't be there next week.
So it's probably,
I mean, I'll
it
be.
would
there,
probably
but
be
I'll
good to
be a lot.
skip it then.
Yeah, maybe so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Just sleep.
We'll have all the family
sleep
over
through.
here. Stuff
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah, but either way, but that's fine. Yeah.
If you have it, if I have time, I'll dial in.
Yeah. Yeah, but if you get, especially you might have your family coming in all the time for Thanksgiving too, so.
Nah, we're just, we were going to be down in New Orleans and Emily decided not to. So
It was Emily's
going,
fault.
it's, yeah, because I'd be living in New Orleans if it was up to Tom. But,
Between the plumbing and the poochie dog, you got no money to go nowhere.
oh,
Yeah,
Jesus.
I'm
Yeah, the dog got sick and cost $3,500. We had some people staying with us, our niece, and she had a baby. So the dog eats the dirty diaper,
Oh, wow. Ooh.
gets some really bad disease, starts shitting itself to death.
Oh,
$3,500 later, it's okay. Then we have an older house. And my son was who's pretty heavy, he was saying, hey, this toilet seems like it's, the floor is a little loose. And I'm pretty heavy, but I didn't feel it. So we had the construction guy come in, he takes the toilet up and falls through the floor.
Oh, no.
No.
He only fell a foot because it's down to just some dirt.
The bottom.
Jesus, he's been finding all this stuff wrong, it's all the pipes are rotted.
Oh,
So it's good to get it done, but that's
Yeah, but
costing an arm and a leg too. So
Yeah.
yeah.
now all I have is one arm left and one leg left.
I had a big expensive paint job done on my truck, just the hood and the top. And yesterday came out and it's all gone. Started chipping off.
The new paint job?
is gone.
Oh,
Oh,
my
man.
Lord.
Damn, they mustn't have prepped it good. They must not have primed it right.
He's
Yeah.
gonna make it right, but
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
We even with insurance, we're probably out of pocket a little over 20 grand. with that kind of stuff.
Hey,
So
Cam.
it's- how'd it get?
Hey,
Good
Gary.
afternoon, all is well?
All's well.
All
Very good.
president of council.
Yeah.
So Bill, are you gonna have a big family get together?
For my birthday? Or for
No,
Thanksgiving?
no, for
Oh,
Thanksgiving.
here goes Barry right now. We were just wondering about it. Yeah, everybody will be here, but not all at the same time. Like two of my kids work in restaurants and another one works at the TV station, and they don't all have holidays off, so they'll get here when they
Okay.
can,
All right,
But we'll have perfect attendance, but not all at the same time.
yeah.
Cool.
That's
Cool.
sometimes the best way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello, Barry.
Barry,
What's
going on,
What's
y'all?
up?
Hey,
Barry
Barry.
who? Barry
Yeah.
who?
Hey,
We were wondering
What's up?
about you. You didn't have an excuse to absence last week.
you know what? I had a gig last week.
Oh, that's
I
good.
had an early gig, a 6 to 8 wedding.
Uh-huh.
Bless you, my boy. Bless you. Bless you. The only gig I had in October was canceled.
Damn, that's not fun. Yeah.
No.
Well, I had lunch this afternoon with Danny Rubio was there again. So
Really?
I see him once every couple months. We have a little an ex theater group that gets together, whoever can come, 'cause I knew Danny from theater before I knew him. No, I knew him from the Mustache first, but he also did a lot involved with the New Orleans theater group and wrote music for a lot of shows and all. So,
Mhm.
Tell him to come join someday.
Yeah.
Sometime.
Yeah, he used to, but he hasn't gotten on in quite a while.
He's not big on Zoom and all that, you know.
Yeah.
You know, some people, like it, some people, go on now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Chris.
Hey, Chris,
Hello,
Chris.
Hey,
Chris.
Chris.
How you doing, everybody?
Yeah. We were talking about you, Barry. I know you're doing Fritzels. You're back doing Arno's again.
Well, you're not full-time. They don't have full-time there, but all the stuff upstairs, the private parties and all, I've been doing
Mhm.
those.
Oh, okay.
Good.
So you can still wander around now and
Yeah, I might pick up one of them a week, and that's enough for me.
Still doing Fritzels on Wednesdays, huh?
Yeah.
Wednesday.
Oh, yeah. Mhm.
I'm
Yeah,
glad Fritzels
Danny
is
said
back.
he's at Maison, like, I forgot what days, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, I can't remember now.
Cool.
But he has I'm so bad remember names. He brought his new girlfriend with him, but I can't remember her. He's his new old girlfriend. He met her 40 something years ago, but he's dating
Yeah, her
Yeah.
name is Kelly.
Kelly. Yeah.
Kelly,
She
that's
works
right.
at Crescent City Steakhouse.
Right.
Yeah. And I just asked him how he met her, how long ago they knew each other. She said that she met him in the square while he was playing, and she was wearing hot pants and roller skates and rolled past him and gave him a big kiss while he was playing his tuba,
Yeah, that was 1980.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
That way he couldn't go chasing her down the street if he's carrying his tuba with him, with his sousaphone. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Does she still wear hot pants and roller skates?
No, she wasn't wearing them today.
Not that I saw.
She wasn't wearing them.
No. Not even no roller skates.
That's too bad.
I asked her if she did the roller derby, not the roller derby thing. In New Orleans, they have the running of the bulls, and all the
Oh, yeah,
girls
yeah.
put on little
She
bull
do
type
that?
outfits with horns, and they have these paddles, and they try to go paddle the guys. Of course, a lot of times the guys are sticking their butts out trying to get paddled. So
Hey,
Yeah.
Chris, I saw you put something on Facebook, all of us playing the polka medley.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
it was, Mike posted that. I just forwarded it.
Oh,
Mike
that was-
Johnson.
Mike Johnson posted it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Was
I
that
checked
recent?
it out.
was that recent, or did he just post it?
Oh, no. Yeah, he just posted it recently, but I mean, that was from back in when we were at the
Oklahoma City.
Banjo Museum.
Yeah, Oak City.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I looked at that,
Oh,
She's
yeah, I
Not
saw
Bad
that
For
one.
Me medley, the
Two
polka.
Fat Polka and the Pennsylvania Polka and the Beer Barrel Polka.
Well, then
Right.
it was, what is it?
Great tunes, all great tunes.
Yeah.
Oy, oy, oy.
And polka your eyes out.
Well, speaking of tunes, the last week's recording of the Zoom with all the music that Billy played, I put it up on YouTube immediately and I got, clobbered. They took it down because of all the copyright infringements.
Oh, I was
Which I
wondering.
figured
why-
was going to happen the week before, but it didn't. So then I have a Vimeo account, so I put it up there and they don't care. So,
I was wondering why it showed whatever that
Vimeo.
was instead of,
yeah.
stuff.
Mhm.
But I didn't want to, I was going to cut out the music, but it adds so much to see the music.
Yeah.
So then I went to Vimeo and they didn't care.
There was a strip polka on there too.
Right, that's
strip
right.
polka?
strip polka, Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
Wow.
yeah.
Well, the copyright violations aren't a problem if you're paying off ASCAP and BMI.
Well, I was a little short this week, so I couldn't pay them off. So
Yeah.
It was interesting. I remember when the Boston Club started, I brought up the subject of royalties and copyrights to Joel, and his answer was, everything we play is beyond the expiration date of the copy songs. So the songs are so old that we don't have to worry about that. And he didn't.
Yeah.
Wow.
They had ASCAP and BMI around Fritzels last week. And most of the stuff we do is, beyond, but every once in a while there's a song that's newer,
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
so that means the club has to pay.
So
Well, we were running-
does Fritzels pay it? Do they have a license?
Yeah, they pay. They pay when you're right on Bourbon Street, you gotta pay.
Oh, yeah, you have
Unless you're
to.
like Joel, and a lot of the stuff we did was in public domain, I guess.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Sometimes in public domain.
The other aspect of that was, I once asked him about, I said, do we have any mob problems? Do we have any, issues with the mafia, for instance? And he says, no. He says, my name protects me. They think I'm one of them.
Well, that's what he told me, because he came down a few years ago. We had lunch and I asked him the same question.
Yeah.
We were having lunch at the restaurant that used to be your father's mustache.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you
Fred
were
was
there.
there,
A
wasn't he?
bunch
Yeah,
of us
Fred
were
was-
there. And I
Yeah.
said, when you came in, how did you stay away from the boys, the mob? Because Bourbon Street was run by the mob, And he
Sure.
said the same answer. He says, my last name let me through and they left me alone.
Yeah.
Then he went on to say, I was running a good operation, bringing a lot of good people down to Bourbon Street, and they could capitalize on that because I was right next door to all their clubs.
Yeah.
Sure.
But didn't Joel's father own a scrap metal business in New Jersey?
Yeah, yeah.
No, he owned a scrap metal business. That is true. It was in Boston and in New Haven.
Oh,
I think
okay.
that what I had heard tossed around some was that Joel, with his name and the scrap metal business in the family, that that he was not all part of it in a big way, but somehow connected, maybe in a good way. So, yeah.
Well, it's a family business. I mean, sure. I mean,
I think
Joe-
family business.
Yeah.
Joe Schiavone had two sons and a daughter. Joel was the oldest, and Michael was the second, and then Jennifer was the youngest. And Michael eventually ran the business because Joel ran the business for a while after he was graduated from Harvard Business School. But then it was really rather quickly into the banjo business. Went out to San Francisco, met Jack Dupin, made the deal with him, came home and started the banjo business. So, but Michael ran that business for a long time. I have no idea who's doing it now. But it's still there. I mean, you can when you drive over the bridge over the Connecticut River, going across New Haven on the harbor, you can see the business down there. So it's still there. Whether it's still theirs or who's running it, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Wow.
Of course, there was the most famous rumor. It's actually kind of a story. It's not more of a rumor. It's a story that his grandfather, who was evidently the owner of the business to begin with, and then Joe the son took it over from him when he died. But the grandfather sold when the New York City scrapped the Second Avenue subway. He took all that steel and sold it to Japan, and in Japan. Now, as the story finally concludes, that the Japanese used all that steel to make the Zeros that was the bulk of their Air Force during World War II. So,
Oh,
that's a story. I have no idea the truth of it, but that's a story that circulated years ago.
Interesting. Yeah.
good story.
Interesting. Yeah.
Joe is a very nice guy. I mean, he was a very pleasant man, smart and articulate and generous and a good guy, a really good guy. Joel's father, I mean. It was a nice family. Nice family.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, Chris, I finally joined up with your site with the cooking site. I kept hearing everybody's reviews and such. So for some reason I wasn't seeing them. I didn't realize there was something else I had to go to besides be friends with you on Facebook. So I had to go to that other site. Okay. But so I'm assuming you're well over the 4,000 people by now, huh?
Oh, yeah. We jumped right over that.
Okay.
It was amazing. I got like 1,000 new followers in one day.
Wow.
We're hungry people.
How do you
Good
do that?
recipe.
I like to do that. I'd like to do that.
Well,
Where is it posted? How do you sign up?
oh, you just go to on Facebook. You just go to QED Cooks,
Okay.
and that's where I post all the recipes and information about appearances that I do or shows that we're working on, whatever.
Cool.
Yeah. I'm actually working on one now that it'll be good because it's called When in Rome. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot some video pieces while I'm over there in January and February. And then in March, I'm going to edit those pieces together. I'm going to send them back here so they can be edited before I get back. And we're going to do a show with recipes of authentic Roman cuisine, not Italian American food. You know, they don't eat spaghetti and meatballs. They do eat spaghetti and they do eat meatballs, but it's not what we, it's not Chef Boyardee. So that's the show we'll do in March. That'll be our next new one. And we're refurbishing the kitchen. I understand that they're working on all the stuff while I'm gone.
Have you seen the shows by Stanley Tucci about touring Italy?
Oh, I thought they were fabulous.
Weren't they great? They were terrific. The food was great and the scenery was great. Oh, it was wonderful. They were great.
Well, and the people that he met, the issues that he got into, were fascinating.
Of course.
Yeah.
I enjoyed those. They were fun.
Years ago when he did that movie, The Big Night, I loved that movie. And I decided that we would do a television show based on that. We were going to call it The Big Night, and that we were going to replicate the recipes that they prepared on their big night, waiting for Louis Prima to show up. And that we hooked up with a local restaurant, and we said, if you become a member of the station, you at this level, you get 2 tickets to a dinner of all of those dishes at this restaurant.
Oh, nice.
And we sold it out. We had to have a second night, and then we did it a couple of years later at a different restaurant. So it worked out really well. And my tagline was, and we've invited Stanley Tucci to be on the show. I said, but we're not sure if he's going to show up. So he played the Louis Prima part in my movie.
Okay.
All right. QED Cooks.
QED Cooks.
I'll join. I'll look it up when we get off.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I've seen a bunch of the things you have on Facebook. Some of those dishes look pretty good. I can get hungry thinking about it. Yeah. All right.
Tonight, Kim, you'd like this. I'm making mules and frites.
Oh, I love it. Love it.
I figured you would.
What is that? Say that again.
Mussels and French fries.
Oh, mussels.
It's the national dish of Belgium.
Wow.
Oh, literally. I'm not kidding. It is. It's
Yeah.
Minute you hit the border, man, you can smell it cooking. And they're good. They're really good.
Oh yeah. It's funny, if you get off the train at the train station in Florence and just take a left-hand turn out of the train station, there's a Belgian restaurant that just has mules and frites. And, and I thought, of all places to set up, right outside the train station in Florence.
Well, you never know, man, because when I one of the best pizzas I ever had in my life was in Oslo.
Really?
Really? Yeah.
QED, write that down. QED Cooks.
All this talk about food. Is it dinner time yet?
Yeah, it's getting there.
Wow. Yeah, I getting hungry myself.
Is your station WQED?
Yes.
Okay, because KQED is Los Angeles,
Yeah, KQED is San Francisco.
San Francisco, I'm sorry, is the other end of the state. Yeah, you're right.
You're WQED.
Right now, I'm on a Zoom meeting with my friends from Carnegie Hall.
Tell them to join us.
What do you?
The Los Angeles station was KCET.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, I'll be I'll be here for, till 4:30 probably.
Close enough.
I'm
So
trying-
you have a lot of cooking thing that you
Right.
post on there, or recipes and so forth?
Yeah, I mean, we do things from time to time. As a matter of fact,
Yeah.
I just posted a recipe from the big night. One of the recipes that they made was called a timpano, which is macaroni, and you put it in a crust and you bake it. It's like baked macaroni, but it's in a crust.
Mm.
And they make a big deal out of it in the movie. So I made one, and we did that on the show. And I also put that recipe in my stuffed cookbook. So because it was stuffed into a casserole.
Yeah.
I just pulled up a little short clip. This was not from any music, but this was back from Carnegie Hall. It was when Joel was welcoming everybody and start the little talk. And let me see if I can get this going here.
That's the story of the background. And what happened to me, so you all know the story, I had brain surgery 4 weeks ago.
Okay.
Some of you are not surprised at that.
Did you have one put in or taken out?
I had a hole in my brain, which is not surprising. I had 4 holes in my brain. So they opened them up. Some people thought in the hospital, not many, that I had horns coming out of my front. It's all gone now and all healed up, and now I'm on the way back. And with the help of my surgeon and a hospital bed, I'll be on stage tomorrow night.
Yes.
Anyway,
Okay, let's see.
Right.
This
You know,
little clip.
I always found it a shame that Joel didn't play that night at Carnegie.
Yeah, he said he was going to be on stage, but he didn't
Yeah.
actually.
Well, he was on stage,
Yeah.
but he
Oh, yeah,
didn't
he was
play.
there. He was on stage for sure.
But he
Yeah.
didn't play. But then the reunions we had after Carnegie, he played all of those.
Yeah.
He played Oklahoma City. He played Sun Coast. He played Punta Gorda. You know.
And this is a weekend for the Sun Coast
This is-
Festival.
Yeah.
Yes, Joan posted
Yes.
something about
That
that. Yeah.
John sent something.
But he played them all after that. That's too bad that he was
Yeah.
sick. You know.
Yeah,
Well,
we-
he was really sick, by the way. And that,
Right.
that comment about horns is half true. I visited him in the hospital after his surgery, and he did have 2, let's say, the medication protruded outside of his head, and it did look like he had horns, but of course it was not. It was temporary, and he still has the scars up there, by the way. So
Wow.
it's
Huh.
it was serious. It was serious stuff. It was
Yeah.
serious.
Wow.
Well, I was going through some pictures and I found an old picture of Bourbon Street during Mardi Gras.
Oh my
yeah.
goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks
That's
familiar.
old. See,
And it's
Somewhere.
amazing to see people in suits.
I was just getting ready to say somebody's got a suit on.
Oh,
there.
But that was like 1972 or 3.
Wow. Okay. We were working at the
We were
Muskrat.
there then.
Right, yeah.
Well, I
And
guess,
that was
yeah, they-
taken from the upstairs balcony.
Oh, I see. Sure.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And people go all the way up, you know,
Oh, yeah.
past, up to Bourbon's, up to Canal.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. That was pretty thick, but sometimes it would be so thick you couldn't decide which way you wanted to walk.
Yeah.
You have to kind of go with where most people were going.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, okay. Who took the picture? Did you?
It was me.
Oh, you shot this picture?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
All right. Yeah.
That's why I know I was on the balcony.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. How about that?
And
Wow.
you see the A-frame roof at the top of the left-hand top?
Yeah.
Yep.
The famous door.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Oh,
famous
yeah.
door. Mhm.
And almost right across the street from that was the old Absinthe House on the side you
Yeah.
can't see. Yeah.
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 Yeah, they had that play going on there back in the back room there.
Yeah, nobody likes a smart ass.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
the years.
Yeah. And just to the right of Ruth Ann's Fashions, I think would have been the Silver Frolics.
Mm-hmm.
So up there.
Mhm. Right, I was wondering what I was looking for. I couldn't. So it's right. Just
Yeah, yeah, because it was almost right across the street.
Yeah,
From
right across the street from the club. Yeah. Wow.
The guys could just come right on over and see us.
Yeah,
Mm.
and they
They
did.
did. They did. Had some German or Norwegian or something sailors came in one night. Some of them came over and I don't know who, some guy that one of us were, I don't know who did it, but introduced them and said, "Hey, come here." I don't know what happened. I'm afraid to know what happened.
Yeah. I introduced some boys from Ole Miss to the Cat Boy. They kept wanting to buy them drinks and stuff. I said, "Oh, I can introduce you, man."
Well, one night Roger was at the door and I walked up front and he's standing there with Tinkerbell from the Frolics.
Oh, Tink, yeah.
And Roger says, Tinker, you know where Tom's from? No, he's from Missouri. You know, that's the show me state.
Yeah.
So did he?
No, I didn't show him anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the
Who was
first
it?
time
I think James McGivern, I think, asked Tink at the door one night, Tink, why don't you, you didn't have any teeth up front. Why don't you have your teeth replaced? He said, well, it's always better that way.
Yeah, I didn't want to ever try that.
No. He was a scrawny little thing, but he was a character. Wow.
But they'd sit there sometimes when they couldn't get in and put their makeup on, and they looked pretty good by the time they got going.
Yeah. Silver Frolics. God.
Remember the bark across the street at the Silver Frolics? Say, step right in, step right in. He'd say, Hecker Mo Decker, they all got a pecker.
That sound like James McGivern there.
Yeah.
You booked a cozy Verbo mountain cabin with a kitchen where everyone can chef. The thing though,
Is that something you're trying to play? Or?
Yeah, I'm trying to cue it up. See if I can get that going here. Let's see. It's not showing up. I was having trouble with that last week too. Let's see. Go back. Oh, basic. Here we go. Basic. Here we go.
The Boston Red Garter was an immediate sensation, typically witnessing long lines of people just waiting to get in. Having found a successful way to turn hobby into profit, Schiavone quickly expanded his operation and by 1964 had opened Red Garter clubs in New York City and Cape Cod. In each club opening, the formula for success remained the same. They'd go in, paint the walls red, hire a good banjo band, and sit back and wait for the crowds to come. And come they did, by the thousands, enjoying the overall experience as much as the banjo music itself. You could say the clubs were wholesome or whatever adjective you choose. What really made the club succeed was the mood you felt when you walked in. Your father's mustache was a complete entertainment package. The place, the waiters, the musicians, the songs, and the atmosphere. Everything fit together perfectly. If you put the band in a room without the other components, it wouldn't have been the same. While it was good time night every night on stage, there was trouble brewing between Schiavone and the West Coast owners of his Red Garter franchises. Ultimately, he, in his words, ransomed the three clubs at an outrageous price and dropped the Red Garter name altogether. Being a phenomenon without an identity, in the summer of 1964, Schiavone sponsored a Name the Club contest. Ideally, he was searching for a name that reflected the spirit of his nightclubs, as well as the time period they portrayed. Thousands of 1920 Spike suggestions were submitted. One said that since the club had lost its Red Garter, it should be named Saggy Stockings. However, out of all the clever entries, one name, a perfect name for both identity and marketing, emerged: Your Father's Mustache. Now independent of any franchise obligations, Schiavone was able to move forward and direct Your Father's Mustache in any manner he saw fit. Based on the initial success in Boston, New York, and Cape Cod, more clubs were quick to follow. Philadelphia, Chicago, St. Louis, New Orleans, Denver, 2 clubs on the Jersey Shore, and overseas operations in Blackpool, England, and Brussels, Belgium. At its peak, Your Father's Mustache had 13 locations, which employed over 2,400 people. Many of them were banjo players, a lot of college students who developed their chops on a Your Father's Mustache stage. They had to learn a lot of different songs and different keys and do it on the spot when they didn't have time to think. Your Father's Mustache proved to be a great training ground, and after a while, this all became routine. Of course, even though he was the company president and a millionaire before he was 30, Joel Schiavone started the business to play the banjo. As a result, it was routine for him to travel around to various locations and play with the band. For Joel, playing the banjo is like therapy. Some people play golf, he plays the banjo. Schiavone would often play 2 to 3 nights per week during the 1960s and 70s, much to the dismay of the house band, who generally were forced to play longer sets with shorter breaks whenever the boss was in town. After being proclaimed the nightclub of the 1960s in a feature article in Time magazine, 1965 was a banner year for Your Father's Mustache. The clubs were at their peak, attracting over 900,000 guests in that year alone. In October 1965, Joel and the band were invited to perform at the White House for a gala program saluting the 89th Congress. Donning striped vests and blazing banjos, Your Father's Mustache shared the bill with many show business legends. Among those there that night, it is recalled that a White House staffer had the audacity to suggest that the band members might want to press their white trousers prior to posing for a photo with the president, a request which they declined, fearing it may damage their artistic integrity. Regardless of the wrinkled pants, President Lyndon B. Johnson, scheduled for surgery the following day, commented, "Never before has anyone had such a happy hospital send-off."
Oh, interesting.
Just over a month later, another Your Father's Mustache highlight came when the band, conveyed on a vintage fire engine, added a unique musical spark to the annual Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade in New York City. This nationally televised event exposed literally millions of people to the banjo and to the Your Father's Mustache brand of music and fun. Joel Schiavone was caught in a whirlwind of activity. In 1967, he and the band made an RCA Victor LP album, which, for the first time in decades, brought the music of the 4-string banjo back to Billboard's popular music charts. Needless to say, by the late 1960s, Your Father's Mustache was a national entertainment phenomenon. In addition to the nightclubs, there were often 4 or 5 Your Father's Mustache show bands performing on the road at corporate and civic events around the country. On one such memorable road trip, they performed with Jackie Gleason in Miami. Although not apparent, there surely must be a good explanation as to why, when given the opportunity to pose with the great one, that Joel seems to have forgotten his shoes. Many national television appearances followed. Merv Griffin, Mike Douglas, and numerous chances to be part of a really big shoe on the Ed Sullivan program. A Sunday evening institution for decades, Sullivan loved the Your Father's Mustache band, inviting them to appear on his show on 4 different occasions. By the early 1970s, American society and its entertainment preferences had begun to change dramatically. The result of this trend, the decline and the eventual closing of all of the Your Father's Mustache nightclubs. The last club to close was New Orleans, which was very sad, remembers Joel. "I thought that club would be open forever, but a porter from a mental institution set it on fire. As everyone assumed we'd been managed by the mentally deranged, it did seem an appropriate finale." Since the demise of Your Father's Mustache, Joel Schiavone has often speculated why things changed so much so fast. "Life for everyone became so complex," he commented. "The war in Vietnam was raging. It was a time when patriotism, Yankee Doodle Dandy, and God Bless America seemed dead. We also had the Woodstock generation, a far distant match to Let Me Call You Sweetheart and Take Me Out to the Ball Game. Times and tastes changed and took with them the soul of Your Father's Mustache. But we had an incredible 13-year run in which we created a memorable experience for a large number of people. That certainly is an accomplishment to be proud of."
That was good.
Interesting. Very good.
Very good. Yeah.
Johnny Byer,
Hey, guys.
Johnny Byer knows how to put together a show, doesn't he?
Yeah, the only thing they got wrong was New York was the last club to close.
That's true.
Correct.
That's true.
Yeah.
Premium drone.
I gotta kill that thing. Let me see what I did wrong here. Let's
And at
see.
this rate, this tiny American company will be the biggest drone brand
There
by
it is. Let me get
2022.
rid of that.
Thomas Rowley used to work for a well-known drone company and was head of the brand department where they designed premium drones with cutting-edge technology.
Still on.
You got it?
Sorry, I couldn't
Yeah.
get the sound off. Okay.
All right.
You're right, Ira. New
That was
York
interesting.
the last one.
But
What was the
Barry,
one?
You're correct. New York was the last club open.
right?
Yeah.
Yes. When did New Orleans close? What month?
New
July.
Orleans burned down in July of 75 and New York closed in January of 76.
6.
And I was there for both of them, so I know.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. 76, 24, 45 years ago.
Wow. Jesus.
Seems like yesterday, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. It does.
If the Bourbon Street Club, if it hadn't burned down and it had been remodeled, like we had a bunch of blueprints. Roger got Ed and I were looking at it with him to remodel the whole thing. But I wonder what happened if it had reopened. Would it still be going?
I think so.
I
I
think
think
so.
they'd be going forever there.
It's kind of a captive
Pat
audience.
O'Brien's is still going.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's, yeah.
Just like Pat O'Brien's changed from 30s popular music into a more of a country pop thing, I think the Mustache probably would have had to change his music a little bit.
A little bit.
A little
certainly.
bit.
Not
Yeah.
much. They wouldn't have to change it much.
Not much, but a little bit. But I think it'd still be there just
I think
as
it's-
Pat O'Brien's is still there.
I think
New
it should
York
be
wouldn't
there,
have
too.
been there. New York wouldn't have made it.
No.
But wasn't it something to do like Joel didn't want to come up with the money? They offered to sell him the,
Yeah, the lady wanted to sell the property. She didn't want to release it anymore.
right.
The
but
lady
he
that owned it.
Didn't have the money to buy it. I mean, it was going to be expensive when you talk about a big chunk of Bourbon Street, but
Yeah.
The prime spot on Bourbon Street, right in the middle of the whole strip.
yeah.
Yeah. Right
I
in
don't
the
see
I
how
middle.
wonder
you
what
could
she,
go- I mean,
I
if you
wonder
can
what
afford
it
I
would
don't
have
see how you
sold
could run
for.
it. I'm sorry, I talked over you. What did you say?
I wonder what the property would have sold for, what she wanted.
I don't know, but I remember talking with Ed, and it's I think back then would have been a lot more money than it is now, but I think she wanted $250,000 for it, you know, or something like that.
I do know that the people who finally bought it right at the beginning was Gilbert and Robinson, which is a big restaurant conglomerate. They're the ones that own Houlihan's
Oh,
and
yeah.
all that, you know. In other words, they own thousands of restaurants.
Yeah.
They're the ones that opened, that bought that. And I can't remember the name of the restaurant they put there right at the beginning. Anybody remember that? The name of
Wasn't
the
it like Sam Wilson's meat?
Sam Wilson's. That's it. That was one of their
Yeah.
brands. They had Houlihan's, Sam Wilson's, and a bunch of other brands. And so they put in a Sam Wilson's meat and fish market or whatever they called it.
Yeah.
Houlihan's are closing all over the place.
Yeah. They were a good restaurant too. I mean,
Yeah, I liked it.
no,
And the funny thing is, when the Mustache burned down, Kent McBride was working at Houlihan's, and so the band went right into Houlihan's. We started playing there a month later at Houlihan's. But that goes to tell you with that clip, and Johnny just said on that clip we saw that you got the band, and the band was good, and people like that kind of music, but you put the band in a different situation, it wasn't the same.
Yeah.
We found that out when we went to Houlihan's. Houlihan's
Yeah.
was beautiful. It was a new restaurant, fairly new, decorated great, antiques on the wall and stuff like that, but it wasn't the Mustache with sirens and red walls and stuffed animals, and it wasn't the same. And by the way, we stayed there for 5 years. We played there in Houlihan's for 5 years, but it never was the same as the Mustache.
Yeah, but the Mustache was the band and then the people drinking beer. Houlihan's was food and a lot
Right.
more space.
Totally different.
But
Give a
I
whole
played
different.
at mustache bands at other places, and it never was the same. Now the Red Garter in Wildwood, that's something different.
Oh, that was
It was the
perfect
mustache.
for the band. That's what it was.
The Red Garter in Wildwood was a mustache.
Yeah.
The only
Yep.
difference was the names on a sign outside.
That's all it was.
Yeah.
Because it was the same thing, Barry.
Yeah.
I mean, the music was a little different. I mean, they had Big Tom was a drummer. We didn't have that in New York.
Well, that's right. They had a drum there.
But it was
But it
very
worked.
similar.
And they had Mike Gallo.
Well, see, that's another change too. They had featured entertainers, the Al Jolson singer and the Last of the Red Hot Mamas. Ruth Cruz did it, you know.
You had a drummer, huh? That's it.
We had a
That's
drummer.
interesting.
We had a
That's-
drummer because of the shows.
Yeah, that's,
The
you
show.
know, a good banjo band does not need any help with the percussion.
No, we didn't, but it didn't take away at the Red Garter. The drummer was very good. He understood tempo changes, the key change. He understood all that.
Oh, there were-
If you were up there playing and Tom was back there and he was the only drummer, all right? If he was
Yeah.
back there, I mean, you didn't have to worry about a drum setting the tempo, okay? He followed the leader.
Tom was good.
Excellent.
He was good.
Look, Jim, he was the local high school band director,
Cool.
but
That's
he
good.
he weighed about, I'd say 375.
Yeah.
Oh,
He was a big guy.
375 pounds, a great drummer, very musical, listen and all that, but he was so big he couldn't take breaks because getting on and off the bandstand was too much for him. So he would get 2 pitchers of root beer and 3 big huge bags of potato chips. The whole night.
Remember that, Barry. He never left the stand.
He never did.
Wow.
That's funny.
Like your traditional New Orleans little jazz bands usually have like a little snare and a bass drum, and the snare might have like a semblance of a cymbal on it. It's usually just some little piece of tin that they would beat on to keep time, you know.
But you're right. Mustache bands traditionally you don't need a drums. In fact,
Yeah.
they usually get in the way.
Mhm.
They usually get in the way, but this guy Tom didn't.
And so the piano, so the pianos.
Remember, in New York, Joe Terry used to roll out his drum once in a while, remember?
Yeah.
He had a drum on wheels, just the one piece. I don't know what it was.
But he used it for effect.
Sure.
Right.
More for
Right.
effect.
Well, he used to use it for the song Boulevard of Broken Dreams.
Yeah, remember
Oh,
that?
yeah.
And Salvation Army.
Yeah.
Huh.
And it was always a tom-tom drum.
Yes.
Yep.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
He's been gone 46 years. Jesus.
I walk along the street of sorrows
Of Breaking Dreams.
Yeah.
with Gigolo and Gigolette.
That's right.
Kim, any more talk about the future reunion?
Now, Joel is calling a meeting, but we haven't got together yet. I stuck my neck out and said we should do this thing, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, okay. Well, it's pretty much up to Joel. Without him, we're not gonna have
Oh
it.
yeah, absolutely.
That's the thing. Yeah.
I gave him my thoughts, and he said let's have a meeting, and Marty and I and Joel haven't got together yet. We will. It's holiday season right now.
Right now,
Everybody's busy, but within a reasonable time, we'll all talk and see what we can do. I'm sure. He may say no. He may say screw it. We're too old. But
Yeah, I can't see that.
on the other hand, he's Joel. I mean, the guy is boundless with his energy. I don't care what his physical capacity is, but he's got the ideas. When he first proposed to me that Carnegie Hall thing, I called him crazy. I said, "We'll never do this. Are you kidding?" And a year later, we were doing it. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Well, if he decides not to have one, we'll just move down to New Orleans and get everybody together down there.
Well, we can.
You asked me to say a few words about your father's mustache from my perspective. But I don't want to drag that on because I don't say it.
Sorry about
You
that.
may not be, but I am. But I want to hear from each of you. I've talked to each of you, you all said, boy, do I have some stories. So I want to hear what the goddamn stories are. I think that'll be a lot more fun than my stories because you're all in your best behavior around the
Bullshit.
That was in the
house for Annie Smith?
This is some background. I got this idea when I was in the hospital. Of course, I'm always in the hospital.
In Cuba, too.
I've had a lot of good ideas in the hospital, which I forget. But this one I didn't forget. I said, what can I do to enjoy my stay in the ICU for 5 weeks? And I sat there thinking, and this idea came out of the blue, out of the dark of the night, that we should have a reunion at Carnegie Hall. So out of that little German idea, which I think was in 1910.
2010.
It was in January 2010.
2010.
January.
Just 1 century later.
Anyway, when I got out of the hospital, I had a meeting here in New York. About 8 or 10 people came, maybe 12 or 14. I met Joe Cicala for the first time. I dismissed him as an imposter. What does he know about your father's birthday? Anyway, we went on from there. 2 months later, I got emails from a number of people here who are not named, Sylvia Brad, saying this was a stupid idea. It'll never work, never draw any people. Well, why didn't I have a smaller event in my house? So nonetheless, I persisted, and here we are, and
It's sold out.
That's right.
good news.
Okay.
Very good.
Yeah.
That's cute. That's good. Yeah.
I remember our first meeting about it at the Red Eye Grill. Were you there, Jim, at the first meeting?
I don't remember. When was the first meeting? Refresh my memory because I'm not
I
sure.
don't remember. I know it was at the Red Eye Grill across the street. Joe Cicala was there. He put it together a lot.
I remember hearing about a potential Carnegie deal, and I called you.
Yeah,
I'm the one that called. I said, you need to get involved with that. And
Right.
you did.
yeah.
Yeah.
You had that meeting and it took off from there. Joe
Yeah.
Cicala, Kathy Goodleaf's husband, did a lot of work on it.
Yeah, I had heard it somewhere through the grapevine that that meeting was going to occur. I said, well, first thing I thought was you because I knew you were there on the
Yeah.
ground, you know?
Well, he was the manager of the hotel. So
Right, the Holiday Inn.
without that, it would have been much more difficult.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And very conveniently, it was walking distance to Carnegie Hall.
Yeah. It was a great location. We walked to Times Square from there and to
It was
Central Park,
perfect.
everything. It
Yeah.
was great.
It was perfect.
If I ever go back to New York, I might want to stay there just because it was a good locale.
Yeah, 57th and what?
57th and
8th.
8th? Yeah, somewhere around there, 57th. And I know it was 57th Street.
57th in between 8th and 9th.
Yeah.
Something
Great
like that.
location.
Right. That sounds right.
Mm.
And Carnegie Hall is 57th and 7th Avenue.
Oh,
Right.
Good for you. You remember these things. Good for you.
Wow.
All right, guys, I'm going to take
That was a
over.
big
for
Okay,
today.
well, while you're here next week, I think we're going to skip it because some people are going to be gone.
Yeah, next week I'm gonna be gone. I'm gonna miss it.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I'll send you a thing the week after.
So skip next week.
Skip next
Yeah.
week.
Hey, Chris, what are you cooking tonight?
Mules and frites,
What the hell is that?
Speaking of which,
mussels and French fries.
Oh, I'll take that without the mussels.
Oh, the mussels are great. You gotta try it.
I don't like seafood.
It's a terrific dish.
Yeah. No.
Okay, y'all have a happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
gonna check out too, guys.
Everybody.
I guess I'll run
Stay
off too.
Yeah.
And we'll see you in 2
Everybody.
weeks.
Be well.
Billy and Tom, thank y'all for
Yeah, no
the
problem.
pictures, the photos, and the cuts.
Happy
Billy's got-
holidays. Happy holidays, everybody.
Yeah,
Happy
happy holidays.
Thank you, everybody.
Right,
So
don't
we
eat
enjoy the turkey.
We'll be together in 2
Back-
weeks.
Okay,
Back in 2
bye-bye.
weeks.
See you in 2 weeks.